There's a white harlot on this app who had the nerve to compare Epstein to God, saying that God sacrificed his child like Epstein sacrificed kids. Are you fucking nuts? Jesus was famously known to be in his 30s when he got sacrificed. And he brought him back. He sacrificed him and brought him back. Famously. That was the only person in the Bible that God sacrificed. And the person y'all saying that Epstein is sacrificing these kids to, all these billionaires, Moloch, that's in the Bible too. And God said that he was deeply upset at the people who was making their kids walk through the goddamn fire. He said he would never do that to his people. He punished them for that. That's in the Bible. What the fuck are you talking about? Somebody's like, oh, Jesus, this, Jesus, that, Jesus, that. Listen, I know why y'all become ex-Christians. I know that. I understand why people become ex-Christians and atheists. A lot of people are raised in families and see a lot of Christians do a lot of bad things like murder, raping kids, molestation, and all that type of shit like that right there. If you read the Bible, that's in the Bible too. You remember when the Pharisees came to Jesus and said, hey, we healed the sick, we did all these things in your name. And Jesus said, depart from me, for I never knew you. He was talking about people that are so-called Christians that be doing all kind of nut shit. Because you know why it's so bad? Because it makes people do what y'all are doing. Oh, Christian, ain't no love like Christian love. Ain't no love like Christian love. Bro, that's in the fucking Bible. When people they say, oh, I did all this for you, Jesus. I did all this for you, Jesus. He said, depart from me, for I never knew you. Meaning they were fake. It wasn't out of their true heart, and they was doing stuff that was bad. How you gonna say, yo, how you gonna say that, yo, and then you're talking about some ain't no love like Christian love. Oh, Jesus, y'all follow Jesus, debunking Christianity, ex-Christian. You talking about the Jesus that the lady got caught cheating on her man with, and they took her to go stone her? They took her to Jesus, and Jesus said, he who without sin cast the first stone. That's one of the most famous fucking verses. You talking about that Jesus? And then y'all gonna talk about some, oh, well, he had killed kids and stuff in the Old Testament, the firstborns. First of all, firstborn doesn't mean kid. Firstborn means whoever the fuck was born first. Second of all, he asked the Egyptians multiple times to free his people nicely. The Pharaoh said no. He said, no, I'm not doing it. Then he sent the saving plagues. And guess what? After he sent the plagues and he knew that their God was and they knew that the God ain't playing with them, they still went and chased the Hebrews through the motherfucking sea and shit. That's what the goddamn sea had split apart and came down on them. After they saw his power, what the fuck are you talking about? What are you saying? If you read the Bible, God gave people multiple chances to repent or turn away, including the Egyptians with the Hebrews, Sodom and Gomorrah. All these stories, if you actually read the full story, he gave them multiple chances, even the flood. He ain't just wiped the whole earth out. They called Noah crazy. That's what happened. They was like, man, what the fuck are you talking about, Noah? And that's what they didn't get on. He ain't stopped them from getting on a boat. They could have got on the boat, motherfucker. And then you niggas say, oh, well, he had tried to sacrifice Isaac. Are you fucking nuts? Abraham and Sarah couldn't even have a baby at first. They was actually surprised that God said that they was going to have a son. So that was a gift in itself. And he told them that Isaac was going to have his own nation. It was going to be after him. That was before he had him to sacrifice him. He was never going to have him sacrifice Isaac. Never. He just wanted to test his faith. And he didn't sacrifice him. The only one he sacrificed was Jesus. So don't compare Epstein to God. Talking about something, oh, he sacrificed his son, whatever. No. Let me tell you why. First of all, Jesus was going to be sacrificed. And first of all, Jesus was a grown man when he got sacrificed. Second of all, do you know why Jesus was sacrificed? That was something that humans could understand. Humans since the beginning of time, first story, Cain and Abel, they would sacrifice animals and stuff to God. God never told them to sacrifice animals and stuff to him. Never. He never did that. That was something that humans did. Humans that knew of God, they would do that. They would sacrifice it, right? And God appreciated it because he understood, okay, this is my creation's way to show that they appreciate me. So he sent Jesus, the sacrificial lamb. That's his symbolism. That's his symbolism. Is the sacrificial lamb was Jesus. It was something that humans could understand. It's not surprising me that Epstein and these billionaires worship demons and stuff like that. But to ex-Christians and atheists, you got to pick a side. You believe in God or you don't believe in God. Because if you believe in demons, then you believe in God. Then, once we get that answered, okay, you believe in God, is he good or bad? You trying to debunk Christianity, is God good or bad? Each story that you could say that God was evil or angry and stuff like that, he gave them ample chances and ample times to redeem themselves and go do the correct thing. They told him no, they wasn't going to do it. Each time. Yes. The plagues, when he sent the plagues to the Egyptians, Sodom and Gomorrah, Noah and the flood, every story, he gave them ample chances. He didn't just punish them. And he said, where was God during slavery? He didn't rescue the Hebrews from slavery overnight. They were slaves for many, many years. What are you talking about? Oh, where was God during slavery? The Hebrews, before he chose them as his chosen people, they were slaves for a long time under the Egyptians, getting beaten, all type of shit. God chose them as his chosen people, and then he used them to, and guess what? Not only did he use the Hebrews and showed them all kind of love and did all kind of amazing things for them, did you know the Hebrews went and saw all the things that he did, and they had worshiped false gods, statues, and idolatry in front of God? See what I'm saying? That's in the Bible. So next time you talk about Christians and things like that, a lot of the stuff that y'all saying, first of all, it's prophesied. It's in prophesied in Revelations that men will be lovers of themselves instead of God. As you can see time go by, you see more ex-Christians and atheists. That's in the Bible. But number two, all the stuff that y'all are predicting and saying, this is already in the Bible. It already happened in the Old Testament and the New Testament. You're not doing anything new. You understand? But yeah, man. That's how people do, man. They go through ups and downs. They'll turn your back on you in a minute. Like, we're going to close the video out. I was just seeing Clavicular. They turn their back on Clavicular. You understand what I'm talking about? Now they calling him withered and all type of shit like that, saying he had bad influence. First of all, the motherfucker is 20 years old. He was 19 when he got popping or whatever the case may be. Y'all acting like this motherfucker 30 years old and has, intelligence and wisdom. He don't know what the fuck he doing. Understand what I'm saying? They turned their back on him quick. And the baby. I remember when they turned their back on the baby was at the top of the world. He went and said that homophobic shit on stage, which really wasn't that bad, the original video. But they went and turned their back on the baby. They will turn your back on you. They even said that as Spider-Man 1. Remember he said, a hero, they'll love you for a little while. They'll share, they'll clap for you and stuff, but then they'll turn their back on you. That was in Spider-Man. That stuff is in the Bible as well. It's human nature. People turn on everybody, no matter how big you are. You understand what I'm saying? Like Andrew Tate, Clavicular, don't matter who it is. Matter of fact, I'll name you some people that you probably don't know. Whitney Houston, Michael Jackson, Prince. All of them went through a period of time where black people was like, they weren't going to buy their stuff, or they was calling them soft, whatever the case may be. A lot of the old rappers was like, man, fuck Michael Jackson. We ain't listening to Michael Jackson. That's how rap really, they start pushing rap. But it was because they felt like Michael Jackson and Whitney Houston and Prince, they was getting too big. They was getting like pop and all that, and they left the black people behind. So they turned their backs on them for a little period of time, then they came back to them, whatever the case may be. But I say that to say that every celebrity, people try to turn their back on them. They do it every single time. That was in Spider-Man when he said they'll love you for a little while and then they'll turn their back on you. They'll start treating you like a villain. They'll start treating you like a menace. This is human nature. I'm telling you, be careful, man. It'll happen to you.